Welcome to Pog or Dog with your host, Just Russ. Joining him to talk sports, we have Chavapi, and for his first appearance, Colorado Connor.
Welcome back to episode 24. With joining me, two of my college friends from, as the name suggests, Colorado. We have Chavapi back for, is this your third or fourth episode?
Third episode.
Third episode, and Colorado Connor making your first appearance on Larry, the Bird sympathizer. Colorado Connor, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Pretty excited about the podcast.
Yeah, you didn't even know I did this until like 2 days ago, huh?
Last night, yeah, I did. I had no idea what was going on when you texted me.
Well, thank you. I've actually, you know what's ironic is about 4 months ago, I was like, man, I would love to do a NBA podcast with Connor. And here we are 4 months later, and somehow we breathed it into existence. So that's great. This is fantastic.
I mean, you just gotta listen to the preachings of Mr. Ball over there.
It's true. All right. We are at, I mean, honestly, like, I just haven't talked to you in a while. So first, we're just going to do a simple catch up. How's life? How are things?
You know, I'm doing good. Living downtown Denver. Just kind of working, not a whole lot else.
All right. I think you knew this was coming. I'm just going to bring it up now. Can we talk about if Denver is a dog city or an actually semi-okay city? Because it's kind of... It's dog, dude. Why are you still in Denver, Connor? Why haven't you come visit me and Chavapi in golden sunshine, California? What's with that, man?
Because Denver's the happiest place on earth, Justin.
That's such cap.
I'm so happy here.
That is wow. I can't believe I'm hearing these words come out of your mouth.
You knew I liked Denver. You knew I liked Denver.
Dude, I still contest. Omaha's amazing. Omaha in the fall, dude. Way more trees than Colorado, unless you're like at Estes Park. Omaha's got some fucking trees, bro. Especially more than Denver. Like the metropolitan area of Omaha is definitely underwhelming, but you do get a lot of fucking nature, and it feels like a nice, like, cute little suburb. That's what I will say. They also got some decent food.
It's got some spots, but you know, I prefer Denver personally.
Colorado's got like vegan shit, and you know.
Absolutely. Yep.
What about house?
Wait, what?
I said absolutely.
No, Garrett said something. Wait, Garrett, what'd you say?
I said absolutely.
Oh no, I said Garrett. Garrett, you said something.
No, I was just joking. I was saying the Omaha Steakhouse.
Oh
jeez.
Omaha Steak. It's not even a steakhouse. It's just steaks you take home to grill yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Omaha Steaks is like Foster's chicken or something. It's not like
they don't grill it up for you.
Yeah, it's like the Papa Murphy's of steak.
Oh, shit.
Okay, have you guys ever... Okay, this is kind of random, and I know everyone gives me shit for bringing up food too much on this podcast. Have you had Papa John's, either of you guys?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think of Papa John's?
I give it a 5 out of 10.
Really?
Right. It's all right. Nothing special.
Okay, I've never had it in my life, but like one of my friends had it, and they said it was probably the most tragic trash they've ever ingested. And I was like, damn, that's saying something, because there's some pretty bad like pizza out there.
I wouldn't go that far with it. I just would say it's not special.
Garrett, have you had the opportunity to try Papa John's pizza?
Wait, what?
Have you tried Papa John's?
I don't think so. Or if I did, it might have been like a long time ago. I was gonna say, like, what do you guys think is like the best like fast food pizza?
Okay, what do I think is the best fast food pizza? Yeah. I think it's fucking Little Caesars. If you're gonna pay $5, man, there's nothing that gets better.
No Mountain Mike.
I don't consider Mountain Mike's fast food though.
That's true.
I think the worst one is Domino's, and I don't know why people rate it so damn high.
People love Domino's.
I fucking
Yeah, I'm not.
hate Domino's.
I haven't had Domino's in years.
Dude.
Not the best.
All
But
right.
Godfather's is where it's at. That's a
Is
good.
Godfather's like by the slice or do you get a whole pizza?
No, you get the whole pizza.
Oh, for how much?
Yeah.
Like, how much is it like the price point?
Large is probably 25. Something like that.
See, but that's like decent price because that's like what mountain. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm sorry. I gotta stop talking about food as like my backbone. It's embarrassing. All right, guys, let's talk basketball. So you guys, I would call you guys ballers. Would you guys call yourself ballers?
I really like ball. I don't know about.
Would you call me a baller? No, right?
No, probably not. Justin.
I'm Draymond Green with no skills. Let's go. And nothing to contribute to the team. I'm literally just the soul and the talker. That is what I offer. I'm the Udonis Haslam. I ride the bench, have a great time, talk to the press a little bit. Anyway, when did you guys start getting into basketball? Do you know like the age, the moment when like you're like, damn, basketball is low key like something I really want to be passionate about?
I know I was 5. I was playing in it's called the JCC in Omaha. It's there's a basketball league out there. So when I was little, I was playing with my friend. And that's when I kind of really got attached to it. It's been my favorite sport ever since I was 5.
All right, Garrett, what about you?
I want to say I can't remember exactly. I want to say maybe like 4th grade. I think just seeing kids like playing out on the blacktop. I know knockouts. I feel like is where a lot of it got started. And of course, taking it a little more seriously. Playing in school. It was like the icing on the cake to kind of just get hooked. So.
All right. Let's talk about. Did you guys have like a favorite player growing up? Like someone you kind of like watched and you're like, damn, that guy like inspires me.
I personally have 2. And my 2 are Rajon Rondo and Tyler Hansborough.
Who the fuck is Tyler Hansborough?
Really? So he was the face of UNC basketball when we were growing up. He was a power forward center. He went to NBA and he didn't end up doing a whole lot. But he was a hard-nosed basketball player in those games against Duke. I mean, he would have blood running down his face and he still wanted to play. He was really a good, strong basketball player in college.
Heart of a champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's low key you, dude. I feel like if your face was bleeding, you'd be still fucking posting up.
Oh, I have a scar on my chin because I still wanted to play. I had to get stitches to get chinned out to the floor. Absolutely.
Garrett, did you ever have a favorite player?
I'd say James Harden or Bill Laimbeer.
That's such a spread there, bud.
What are these?
Okay, just kidding. I guess in all seriousness, I liked KD early on in his career. I always thought he was always like a lot of fun to watch, especially because he was so young, just shooting over people nonstop. He had that crazy MVP run. But I feel like I have a good mix. I think it's hard for me to like pick a true favorite, but KD comes to mind.
Garrett, I know you're missing one.
Wait, who is it?
Maple Jordan.
Maple Jordan.
You can't even meme about it anymore. He's actually good now.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, but
he predicted in the Ascension.
Whenever talking about basketball, that's what Garrett brings up is Mr. Andrew Wiggins.
The good old Triggins.
I could see your mind almost explode when Andrew Wiggins went to the Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Dude, honestly, when he got traded to the Warriors, I was like, GG, champion contention. And look at him now, dude. Look at him now.
Yeah,
Crazy.
It's honestly a Cinderella story, dude. He's the best. He's the GOAT. Who is my favorite player? Honestly, I really like Dwayne Wade, but I really, really like Chauncey Billups.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dude,
that was one of my favorites too.
When I lived in Colorado and I worked at that.
Yeah, he was a buff.
when I worked at that movie theater, he actually came in and I saw him. That was wild.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
did not meet. I saw and stared at the Chauncey Billups. What a
Yeah.
guy.
That ring and then the Mavs ring. Those are two of the most satisfying rings that I've ever witnessed. Just good basketball on those two teams.
What about
Good.
the 2015 Warriors? Pretty
Absolutely.
damn good basketball, man.
You're right. You're right. It is pretty good basketball.
Then they're stomping on Dellavedova.
Delhi made he created some issues for Steph
He
early on in that
he made
series
some
though.
good money off that series.
He did. Yeah, yeah.
He never lived up to the money after, but damn, did he
Nope.
fucking make that bank?
Wait, where is he now?
I think he's
That's a good
probably
question.
bounced out of the league, but hey, let's look him up. Let's look him up. Dellavedova.
Tough crowd, man. Tough crowd.
Oh, he plays in Australia now.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, nowadays, honestly, I really like Kevin Durant when he was on the OKC, but then when he went to the Warriors, I didn't like him as much anymore, which is kind of weird. I don't know. Like when he went to the team, I was like, oh, we didn't really need him, but that's cool. But all right. Garrett put in this question: how much would you pay to watch like a game of like either your favorite player or like a playoff game? What is like your personal like value dollar limit for like these games? Also, it can depend on the seats. Like maybe you only spend like at most 150 for nosebleeds, and then like you're willing to spend up to like a 1,000 to be courtsiders. You know, like everyone has their own price, right?
I mean, if we're being serious, if I had courtside seats to a game 7 for Boston, it would be my firstborn child, honestly.
Jesus Christ, Connor. No way.
Uh,
There's no way you run that deep. No way.
I
I
respect.
don't know. That seems like a good price. Maybe the
Uh,
Boston Celtics take him in and train him up, and then he takes the Celtics to game 7. I mean, I don't know.
Jesus.
I
What
love
about
it.
you, Garrett? What's your price point? What's your value?
I mean, I was just. It depends. It'd have to be for like a really good contending team. You know, at whatever time the game is supposed to happen. But the most I'd probably spend, I'd say 2,000 for a courtside. No more than that, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like basketball. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. I feel like courtside seats kind of suck. Is that weird? I've never sat down there. I've only sat down there for like non NBA games, like a college game, high school game, middle school games. I feel like for me, the closer you are, sure, you get to like see more of the action and the interaction between players. But I feel like sometimes if it's still like on the far side, it's harder to see what's going on. Like I kind of like to be lifted up a little bit, but maybe I'm the weird one. It's kind of like the same way with like football. Like you kind of want like a little further up. Is that weird?
No, I mean, what, like a few rows like before courtside? Is
I'd
what
say
you're saying?
maybe like 10 rows up, middle of the stadium, like, you know, where you get to see half half.
Oh yeah,
Like
you got to be in the middle. Yeah.
I don't know. Is that, am I the weird one? I don't know. It's just, or maybe even like 5 rows up. I don't know.
I think that's a fair take. I mean, like you still get a good view. Like either way, you still get to see everything. So like you're just like further away, so you can see both like at once. So
Yeah, maybe I'd probably spend like up to 1,000. I don't know if I'd ever spend like donkey money for it though. It's crazy some of the tickets like did the Super Bowl in LA for the Rams was like 50,000 a seat or something?
Yeah.
And
It's
like
crazy.
and then like these NBA Warrior tickets are insane too. It's like it's crazy, dude. Connor, as someone who I'm sure you watched like did you watch the Mavericks Warriors series?
I didn't watch
But you watched
much
like
of
the
that. I think I
highlights.
watched maybe one game.
Did you
Um,
see like when like you know how like NBA on TNT like where like Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley and they were like all outside the Chase Center and they couldn't even speak because like the Warrior fans are just like screaming. They're just like chanting like warrior. It's like over the mic and it was just bleeding sound.
I didn't see that. No, I
Oh,
don't think I
okay,
saw
okay.
that.
I was gonna say like that was like just some of the most wild, like just obnoxious Bay Area fans, and I love it. Like I'm here for it, man. I love when like I like when fans like I don't like it when they're like obviously over the top rude or do things that are unforgivable, but like when they're passionate, you gotta love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Do you guys model your own game or pieces of it to certain NBA players?
No, but as I kind of got older and started looking at players, I noticed things that were similar to Corver and Reggie Miller, somewhere in the middle of there. But I wouldn't say that I specifically modeled it after anybody.
Yeah, I have to say probably the same thing too, as in, nothing specific, but I think bits and pieces, like watching Curry's like off ball movement, it was like what it's like, one thing to pick up, um, or maybe, on defense, like being like folk locked in, kind of like a Marcus Smart, being able to guard like multiple positions. So like kind of just bits and pieces and just kind of putting it together, but I wouldn't say like a single player.
Damn. I as for me, chat, no. I'm not even good enough to like model myself after a high school player, let alone an NBA player. So I wouldn't even dare compare myself in that region. Um okay. I know like with Garrett, like people used to like say like what's up, Klay Thompson? They just used to fuck with you because you're like a 3-and-D guy. You kind of like
Yeah.
you got that tall, skinny build.
Yeah, I liked hitting him in the corner when we played together. It's cool.
Not one.
Yeah. Do you guys one of the topics we put on here is running fives. You guys remember like dude, the fucking wars at Vasa, dude? The amount of
Oh,
times
jeez.
Connor would just fucking like bulldoze 3 people and then just scream and one.
I remember the time that Gert almost got into a fight with some high schoolers.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Although I'm still traumatized by that stupid ceiling duck that would block the corner threes on just the one end of the
Oh
floor.
yeah. Remember that? Yeah.
I don't even remember that. I don't remember the court that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a ventilation system kind of going horizontal on the basketball court. And so you couldn't hit any corner threes because it's too low and your shot would be too high. It would get blocked.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh. Dude, you know what like actually was wait, Connor, do you think or do you agree with Garrett that you only will play ball indoors? This guy refuses to ball outdoors. He's such a bougie baller.
I play outdoors, but I don't know. One, I don't like the double rim, and two, yeah, it's more enjoyable if it's indoors.
Damn it. I know it's more enjoyable. It's obviously more preferred. You get the AC sometimes. You sometimes
Yeah.
I like the echo when you bounce a ball and it just starts echoing around the court.
Sure.
But you got a ball. I feel like balling outside is like low key like a culture, or it's like a sub community of basketball. I don't know.
I mean, for a lot of places, like at least where it's a lot warmer, like you can be sure they'll be doing outside like all the time. So.
If we're talking about like Rockefeller, I mean, I would want to go there. I'd play there every day. But typically, yeah, mostly indoors.
All right. Let's jump into the NBA. That's why we made this podcast. We are now entering the finals. But taking a look back, what did you guys think was like the most surprising thing to happen this season? A lot of things. Curry got his like 3-point record past Ray Allen. I don't know if that was necessarily surprising. I think people saw it coming. The Warriors ascending again after 2 years of being dog. Let's see. The Celtics finally making it way through, even though they've already had Al Horford before. just having their like their new extra pieces and more depth. They're like making a run. What do you guys think was the most surprising thing this season? Like, what stood out to you?
Yeah. So for me, it was definitely John Morant winning Most Improved Player. And it's not because I don't think he doesn't deserve it, because he made quite the leap between this year and last year. It's just he was already pretty an elite point guard last year, but now he is just really far up there. And kind of the reason why I'm saying that, he went up from about 19 points a game to 27, and he's getting better shooting percentages. And if you look at the record alone, he has a pretty astounding impact on the winning. So they went from 38 wins last year to 56 this year, and they lost a couple. They lost Jonas Valanciunas, which he was a pretty good player for them, scoring and rebounding the ball, and they ended up having to replace him with Steven Adams in that trade. And Adams, he's a fine player, but he's definitely did not produce anything near what Jonas Valanciunas did. So it was interesting watching Ja kind of fill the void on the scoring and the distribution of the ball. But the one that I thought would give him a run would be DeJounte Murray, because he lost DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Patty Mills. So a lot of his stats went up too: scoring, rebounding, assists, and his usage percentage went up quite a bit too. So I thought DeJounte Murray could give him a run for his money if he could make any impact on the winning. But it was pretty even from last year as far as winning goes. But I mean, the other runner-up was Darius Garland. Yeah, and the thing with Darius Garland is he did well. My thing against him is his turnovers nearly doubled, and then some of the chemistry that that improved came with getting Evan Mobley. Kevin Love was playing better within his role, and then Lauren Markkinen also joined the team. So I would say John Morant was the most surprising for me, although it was just that leap from where he was to where he is now. It's just such a hard leap to make in 2 years. So I guess that's what I would say.
Garrett, what was surprising for you this season?
I guess in a less like positive light, I would say one, Zion not playing at all. Because I remember there was like a video that came, I don't know if it was a few months ago, or it was like the end of last year. He was doing, the Pelicans still won't let him play for some reason, but he was out doing like 360 dunks, or like, from the free throw line. And of course the Pelicans really could have used them in the playoffs. So that was like, I don't know, I thought it was pretty surprising. And then I think the other thing that stood out was the Nets getting swept. Like not even one win, and I think they're the only team I read that got swept, like out of all the teams in the playoffs this year. So that's also a big oof.
Yeah. Ben Simmons not playing too, along with Zion. James Harden quitting on the Nets' big three. I think that was also kind of surprising. But what takes the cake for me is Luka Doncic fucking beating the Suns and eliminating them when everyone's like, Suns to the finals easy, and they can't even get to the Warriors Western Conference Finals. I was like, dude, that implosion. I looked at I was like, okay, let me see what the score is. It's probably the third quarter just to see where the game's going, see if I want to watch it. And I see a 50-point gap in an elimination game. I was like, bro, 20 points after a half?
Wait,
no fucking way, dude. Wait, what'd you say?
It was at the Suns' home, right, where they lost Game 7?
Yeah, it was at home.
Yeah, it was at...
I was like, dude, that is rough. Like, I'm already a CP3 hater, but that's just fucking fuel to the fire, baby.
A lot of people don't like CP3, but I really respect him. But yeah, that was surprising how badly they got it handed to him in that Game 7. So that was disappointing.
as
But Luka did well.
as the educated man says, he is a traffic cone. So,
Oh
all right, next question. Does speaking of you spoke about Ja maybe not being the best pick for most improved player. Let's talk about, do you think Jokic deserves to be in that conversation of back-to-back NBA MVP?
What do you think, Garrett?
It's kind of a hard say. I mean, I think Embiid and Giannis, it's in a way like deserve. I think it was a pretty close run. I guess when you still look at Jokic's like numbers and just like how effective he is like on the court, and then the Nuggets, when he's not there, it's like day and night. So, the fact that he still took him to even a 6th seed, considering it's just like him, is pretty crazy. And he's doing it like day in day out too. He's super consistent. And I'm pretty sure he played all the games. I don't think he ever got injured this season or really missed anything. So. That also I think was like made a good case for it.
So do you think that the biggest push for him to be MVP this year was because of the Murray injury and the MPJ injury? And so then they were able to finish 6th. To me, for such a good team and somebody with a back-to-back MVP, that seemed a little bit like a letdown to be a 6th seed and then have a pretty early buy in or pretty early elimination in the finals.
I think how I feel about the MVP is, I don't know, I think maybe it's the Russell Westbrook year in 2016 where it's like, oh, if you have absolutely no superstar help as a superstar and you find a way to get into the playoffs, like, you deserve MVP. And I know he had like the triple-double season and everything, and that did, like, it was historic in a way. But I feel like because of that, because like people used to say like Steve Nash's back-to-back stiffed Kobe, right? Because Kobe got like, and the reason why they said Kobe didn't get is because, well, he didn't have a high seed in the playoffs. So, and like Steve Nash got first. If that's true, then like someone like Giannis, Jimmy Butler, like some of the teams that got like, or even like if you wanted to go Devin Booker, I know some people put him as like their 4th highest for MVP voting. Like if it's based on record, like then should it be based on because like they stiffed Kobe during the Nash years because he didn't have a good record, but he also didn't have any help and he found a way to get in the playoffs like Jokic did. But I don't know why we're switching the narrative, like why we stiff some superstars and then we switch the narrative like, oh, okay, you're allowed to get 6th seed as long as you have no help and still like rack an MVP. I don't know.
So here's my thought on it. Since 2000, there have been several players that have had back-to-back MVP seasons. We have Giannis, Steve Nash, LeBron James did it twice, Tim Duncan, and Steph Curry, and now Nikola Jokic. Before that, in the whole history of the league, it was just Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Kareem, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. To me, it seems like they're kind of making a push to get back-to-back MVPs, so it writes a narrative. And that's not to say that he didn't deserve at least one of them. He's a really good player. But when you have somebody like Steph Curry this year, who within 3 years, he took his team from the worst team in the NBA to being in the finals. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with
postseason, yeah.
With the postseason, but the turnaround on how he can change the game for his team is just incredible. I know that Klay Thompson was injured, and he's back, and Draymond Green had his injury issues, and he's back. But if we're going to be honest, the person who had the most impact on the team was Steph Curry, and that kind of led to the rise of Jordan Poole, who's doing really great now, averaging 18 points in the regular season and the postseason. So to me, this season's MVP should be Curry. He had the most impact on his team.
I think in the first 2 months they did say he was the front runner, and like you could like Vegas had really high odds of him getting it. And then I think he just got into that shooting slump, and people were like, "Oh, Steph Curry had like a down year. He was like 36% from 3, which is like a slump for his standards." And they were just like, "Yeah, no."
So yeah, in MVP, it's turned a little bit into stat chasing. And I'm not saying that Jokic is doing that, but they kind of go for the players with the highest amount of stats, the best stats. And Jokic, with being a very high usage center, he's going to get that. Embiid is also going to get votes because he's a high usage center who gets a lot of looks.
Yeah.
But they don't change the game like Curry does. You don't walk into to a season and expect them to swing from the worst team to the best team just because he walked onto the court. I mean, the other issue with Embiid is he's always had talent around him. He's never been able to win. So that's kind of my issue with him. Jokic, he can win, but he also has a bunch of talent around him. Curry can win with what he has, and he's shown that before. I mean, he ends up having quite a good team, but part of that is because he makes them better, right? Michael Jordan made his team better. When he left for that year, when he went to play for baseball, the Bulls, they struggled. And when he came back, they won 3 straight championships. And Curry's kind of the same way. When he steps off the court, the team's completely different. And when he steps back on the court, they're right in the contention for a championship.
Yeah, I feel like for sure, like they like to have narratives into these MVPs as well as stats. And I feel like Curry did have a good narrative this season. You know, like they went from 15-win team to they lost the play-in last year to now finally like just booming off the, you know, hitting the ground running like as if they had never been gone. So I think, yeah, like he definitely had the narrative going for sure. What do you guys think of like who would have been besides Curry? Like, I mean, you said Embiid you have your own problems with, and I get that, but like, who else do you think could have been like a low-key candidate?
So LeBron's always going to be a candidate. Unfortunately, him and his team just weren't producing this year.
They gave him third team All NBA, and I was like, bro, he actually played fucking good. Like, I don't know what the hell this hate is.
So here's the deal: it's LeBron James, and when he doesn't go for just ridiculous stats and then go for a winning season, people are going to shit on him. He had a really good year. Yeah, I don't think he really had an MVP year, but he had a really good year.
Averaging 30 a game.
Yeah, he averaged like 28 a game, right? Some 27?
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
He didn't have any help, so he couldn't win.
Yeah. I think, you know who deserves it? Luka, dude. Luka's
been in the race 2 years in a row now.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get one. I
think he will, but I don't know why we're feeding it to Jokic, man. Whatever.
You know what I kind of want to see happen? I kind of want to see the Mavs do what they did in 2011, 2012 and bring in some veteran point guards and help them win a championship.
I mean, technically he's the point guard, right? So they got to bring maybe.
Well, he can play 2. He can play 1, 2, or 3. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, technically he is the point guard.
Yeah, let's just move into Luka. So I think what was he drafted at? Was he drafted at 7? Or
I don't remember. He was.
I remember like
because there was that trade with Trae Young.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
the Hawks traded down to get Trae Young.
3rd pick.
He was a 3rd pick.
Yeah.
And then Trae Young was picked 5th.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I know the Mavericks traded up for him, and honestly, they look like the fucking geniuses, because holy shit, Mark Cuban loving European dudes because of Dirk has definitely paid off. It didn't pay off so much with Porzingis, but it did pay off in the fact that he got Luka on a 3rd pick. It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, Porzingis is going to be a role player in his current situation, and that's fine. But he's not going to be like what we saw in when he played for the Knicks. Luka's the guy. But yeah, so and we kind of knew that this was going to happen. He won EuroLeague MVP when he was 16. He's been good for a while. He was playing NBA teams before. Well, he's still a teenager. He played the Thunder before he was drafted. This kid's been really, really good since he got into the league, and now he did really well in the playoffs. And it's too bad that it got cut short a little bit, but the Warriors they looked really good in that round.
Someone was saying that like the Mavericks should learn from the Warriors in their drafting, and instead of trying to like trade for a star, they should just draft a bunch of like great defensive players to hide Luka on defense, kind of like the way they drafted a lot of defense to like hide Curry. Like let him go get his 30 and, you know, be really efficient, and then draft a good defensive team and good role players around him and go strength in numbers Mavericks.
Well, yeah.
Instead of like
That's kind
trying
of
to
his
do the
biggest-
James Harden route, go the Warriors route instead.
The Warriors front office has got to be the best in the NBA. I mean, their draft stock is amazing. I mean, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and now Jordan Poole. I mean, it's ridiculous who they've been able to get in the draft in the past few years.
And then you give them a high pick and they fuck it up with Wiseman. So I don't know. They're
I still have
wild.
hope for him. I still have hope for James Wiseman.
Really?
Uh,
I feel like
He's young. He's young.
okay.
And here's the thing, centers. I know it's kind of cliche in the NBA, but they really do take longer to develop. It takes longer for them to develop their body and to get the post moves and the footwork down. And footwork that's hard to get down at the NBA level. So, he might not be producing what they wish he would be producing. But
I just don't think he's like a Warriors player. That's what I feel like. Like the Warriors
what's not
need
Warriors
like
about him? He's a stretch big, and he can run the floor.
nah, dude. We
That
need
seems like-
Zaza back, man.
You don't need Zaza back. No.
JaVale McGee.
No, we don't need to be taking superstars out on the corner anymore. We don't need to do that.
On the Warriors when he was here.
What was that?
It was like, JaVale McGee, when he was on the Warriors, he ended up like developing pretty well with the Warriors, and now he's on the Suns, and he was still doing pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they develop players pretty well. I have no idea what happened to Zaza after he left the Warriors. I know he went to, I'm pretty sure he went to the Bucks. I don't know what happened to him after that.
Zaza. Oh my god.
Smoking Zaza.
Yeah, Zaza's kind of fucked. But anyway, let's okay, talking about draft capital, talking about growing teams. Who do you guys think is going to be the face of the NBA? There's arguments for Ja because he's cool and the fucking Zoomers love him. There's talk about Luka just because people think he's the best. Giannis is in that conversation too. It depends how short or long term you're thinking. I don't think Trae Young's going to get there, but like, where do you guys think, who's going to be the face of the NBA?
Oh, Garrett, what do you think?
Actually, who do you think is the face now? Do you think it's still LeBron James?
Yeah, I think it's still LeBron for now. Like he's
Really?
he's still
Dude.
putting up.
Have you
Let's
seen the
put it this
TV
way.
ratings of Steph Curry?
Let's
Like,
put it this way,
Steph
Justin.
Curry he pulls. I will
Let's
say
put it this
that.
way. If AD was playing, they would have a serious chance of going into the NBA Finals this year. AD's been hurt all season, and that's really put him in a
Yeah,
tough
but
spot because
they also got a defensive and offensive liability that they pay $40 million a year.
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Dude, have you heard the crazy trade that people are proposing now?
To get Russ out.
Yeah, but like there's only because they said only one team would be willing to do this. Have you heard the trade?
No.
Oh, that's
The New York Nets or Brooklyn Nets, sorry, and they trade Kyrie for Westbrook.
Oh, jeez.
And Kyrie reunites with LeBron. Westbrook
Honestly,
reunites
that
with
would-
KD, and
that would
that's
work
the
out
only
for
way to
LeBron.
fix the contracts.
You know what? That probably work out for LeBron.
I just feel like KD would be like, "Nah, man, I'm out. Just fuck this."
come back to the Warriors.
Yeah. So, in the face of the NBA, it's kind of a tough thing to speculate about. I kind of think that it's going to be in the next few years. I think it's going to be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The two of them together is just too good, and they have some.
What
good
about
depth behind them.
Giannis? What?
Okay.
Giannis is fucking fun to watch, dude.
Giannis is fun to watch. You're right. He is fun to watch. And if he gets one more good player, yeah, he's going to be the face of the NBA. And he's been kind of the face of the NBA. He had a back-to-back MVP season. Anyway, but I kind of think Tatum and Brown, maybe Luka. I don't think it's going to be Booker, honestly. I think he needs Chris Paul to work, and Chris Paul's getting old.
Booker talks too much. He needs to chill. Yeah, I would say most likely Giannis in the short term, Luka in the long term. If it's not Luka, maybe Ja, just because he reaches out. Ja reaches out to the young crowd the way Steph was reaching out to the young crowd for the last 10 years.
Well, I would really want him to do well. The problem is I don't think I trust the Grizzlies front office to give him the help he needs to be that guy. But I really want that for him.
What about Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks and he makes the Knicks great again?
Oh,
could we get Zion to the Knicks?
I feel like Zion's kind of wasting away, huh?
Get Zion and RJ and Cam Reddish all back together.
Oh, babe.
That'd be wild.
Go for it.
I would love that.
All right, talk to me about the Heat, Connor. Give me your NBA expertise on Jimmy Butler and the Heat. Before you do, I just want to say, shout out to T, because at the beginning of the year, I said, all right, T, I'm going to bet on one team to go all the way, and you got to bet on another team to go all the way, or at least to the finals. Not to win the finals, but to get to the finals. So I picked one from the West. I was an idiot, okay? I saw the numbers. I thought about it, and I picked the Nuggets. When the Warriors were the same odds, I could have picked the Warriors. So I lost that money. T was like, I let her pick the East. She's like, is there a team in Miami? And I was like, yes, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And she was pretty damn close. Maybe if Jimmy Butler decides to shoot with a little less shot clock, maybe drive, pass, kick the ball out once or twice.
This is a good segue into what I wanted to ask. Should he have taken that shot?
I think him people saying him taking a 3 with 23% shooting percentage, that wasn't the problem for me. My problem is he took it with 16 and a half seconds left on the clock. Because even if he makes it, all the Celtics have to do is fucking drive down and get an easy 2 and the game's over. You know what I mean? He didn't really put himself in a position where it was he sinks it and it's win, or he misses it. Sure, maybe they get the rebound, because he did have it was a fast break and some of his team was crashing and the Celtics came down with the rebound.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think play the offense, run out the clock a little bit longer. Worst case, you settle for a 2 and go to overtime, or you get a good 3 look, you nail it and you win the game. I just feel like the time, the only thing that was bad about it for me was the time. It wasn't the shot itself.
So I'm going to have to disagree just a little bit, and here's the reason why. He is a 23% three-point shooter. Here is the caveat to that. Butler averages 47% on transition threes, transition pull-up threes, which is exactly what that shot was. He had basically a coin flip to make that shot. He had played 48 minutes up to that point. If he had gone for the 2, he would have probably taken the game to overtime, and at that point, the Celtics probably would have just outlasted him. He was probably dog-tired. And I know that's probably not the best excuse, but given that they were kind of struggling towards the end, and they made a huge comeback, and that would have taken a whole lot out of the whole team, not just Jimmy Butler. But him taking that shot, I don't have any problem with. He had a 47% chance making it based on his averages. And let's say he does make it, there's still, let's say, 16 seconds on the clock. They have a couple options. They could either do a quick foul and then give up a couple free throws, or they can realize that they have Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, and Victor Oladipo, and Bam Adebayo. They're one of the better defensive teams in the league. They could have feasibly stopped the Celtics on one possession with not a full shot clock. So to me, I think that he had to take the shot. I don't think there was much question on it.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind him taking the shot. I don't mind it being a three. That the only thing is just the time. But yeah, I guess because they were making good defensive stops up until that point. But yeah, I mean, once they fouled Marcus Smart and he got those 2 free throws, it was nail in the coffin.
Yeah. And the Heat are kind of an interesting team. So what I mean by that, so they kind of have a good mix of young and veteran players. So they have Butler, Larry, and Oladipo, like I already said. But then also they have Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo. So they've had some good
Dude.
opportunities to build up their young guys, use the veteran players to teach them, coach them,
Yeah.
and then give them some real good experience within.
I'm a
the
Duncan
playoffs.
Robinson fan, and I was sad he never got to really play in the last 2 series of the Heat.
I'm gonna be honest. I love that Tyler Hero won the Sixth Man of the Year. I think that's a
I think it made sense. Like, I don't think anyone else like really was as qualified as him this year.
no, not. I don't even think it was close. And man, he looks good when he plays. He looks smooth and confident. I like when I get to see Tyler Hero play.
What'd you want to say, Garrett?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, Tyler Hero, he's been killing it for most of the season anyway as a sixth man. So I think that award was well deserved for him.
Yeah, I've always liked him. I remember watching him play those high school mixtapes when he played high school in Wisconsin. Man, he was killing it then. And have you ever heard John Calipari talk about him? He apparently has a really, really strong work ethic. So I mean, it makes sense. I think he averaged 18 off the bench for the Heat. So yeah, I like
And 25
that
in the
award.
playoffs.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
If he wasn't injured game 7, that could have been a different game.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And so. And I kind of thought that the Celtics had the advantage going into it, and this is the reason why they had not lost a game right after a loss in the whole playoffs, and that's kind of why I thought the Celtics could win that game, even though it was in Miami.
I think most people thought they were still gonna win, but like, and in fact, I think most people who were gunning for the Celtics to win in 6 were so mad that it was close in 7.
Well, I got in a conversation after they lost in the 6th game, and everybody that I talked to, they said no way that the Heat are gonna no way the Celtics are gonna win.
I don't know who you were talking. I feel like the media just like even Draymond Green was like, "Yeah, we're playing the Celtics." Like it's just kind of like everyone kind of just decided it was over, and then they're like, "Wow, it went 7, shocking."
The funniest part of the whole thing was after the Game 6 win was Udonis Haslem going up to the camera and talking shit back to.
That's me. I'm Udonis.
That was the best part of the whole thing.
No, you know what? I'm Luke Walton, dude. I'm coach / because even when he was a player on the Lakers during Kobe's years, he mostly was a coach that wore a jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be a horrible coach if I ever got like the solo job. So I think I'll be Luke Walton as my NBA comp.
Yeah. Garrett, you didn't ever say if you thought Jimmy should have taken that shot. What do you think? You think that was?
I mean, I think that's a fair point. You know, like in a sense, I think it was okay for him to take it because he mostly was the one who was like kind of doing all the work anyway, kind of keeping the Heat in the game. I think Bam, he did okay, but everybody else, like, I don't know, they weren't really on it. I guess at the same time, I think he maybe should have just passed it for the easy too. You know, like, if they end up in an overtime, like what's a few more minutes going to do? Right. But, to be fair, like you already said, he's been playing like the entire game, the Heat, everyone's tired. So,
Yeah, and Jimmy Butler, he does not take a possession off. That guy, he goes hard every single possession. So if you imagine doing that for 48 minutes, I don't care if you're a superstar athlete.
Andy was injured, yeah, which makes it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked the guy.
I'm a huge Jimmy bucket dude. I've never been a fan of a team more than I've been a fan of the 2019 76ers. And when they lost to that fucking Kawhi bounce, my heart was broken, dude. My heart
Right,
was,
because
I was crying more than Embiid. That team
Damn.
was so cocky, so arrogant. They were funny. They were like, Embiid and Jimmy were fucking hilarious in conferences, like, like the press conferences after the game. They were funny as fuck. And Jimmy was so, oh, dude. And he had just been like removed from 2 teams for being a locker room cancer. And he just goes to the 76ers and becomes like the fucking closer for the team. Oh, I'm still mad that team didn't win.
that game is also another reason why I like the shot from Jimmy Butler. So it was a similar situation. He was coming up in transition. They're down. He makes a layup, and then Kawhi Leonard goes by and makes that fade away in the corner to win the game. So part of me is wondering if he was seeing that same situation and thinking, I have to get the 3 now so that hopefully the same thing doesn't happen again to us.
Yeah. All right, boyos. We're going to move on to the last topic. I think what everyone's kind of waiting for. Let's talk the NBA Finals. Warriors v Celtics. And, of course, we have a biasy here. We have Chavapi, a huge fan of the Warriors, living in the Bay. We got Colorado Connor, white guy who happens to like Larry Bird. Surprise, surprise. And a Rajon Rondo fan of all, playoff Rondo. So, what do you guys think? What's going to happen in the NBA Finals? Give me your predictions, and then I'll give you mine.
Okay. Yeah, Garrett, what do you think are some strengths and weaknesses on the Warriors? Great team. They obviously have some chemistry, but what do you think? What do you think about them so far in the finals?
I mean, I think potentially, I think it could be Warriors in 6. I think easily the Celtics will destroy us is if they get sloppy. So I know there's been like a lot of issues before with a lot of turnovers, and the Celtics, their defense is good. I think they match up pretty well. Tatum, Brown, Smart, they're going to be a problem no matter what. And it's kind of funny too because you have both defensive players of the year. Draymond down low, and then Marcus Smart as a guard. So I think it's gonna be pretty even. I think it's just gonna come down to how well they play. So if they're hustling, they're not turning over the ball over or taking smart shots. I think it'll be okay for the Warriors. But I think the Celtics will put up a fight, and I don't think people should overlook them because they don't have experience on that, they're not going to work hard for it. So I'd be wary still.
So who do you think has a leg up on them? I know that they've gotten to the finals, so they're both pretty good teams. But do you think that there's a specific edge that either one of the teams has? That's open ended for both of you.
I'd say the bench, because I think Gary Payton. I think he's supposed to come back for the finals.
Is he? Because I saw that he was out. I didn't see.
Oh really?
Damn. Yeah,
people are saying he's going to come back, but we'll see. I mean, Iguodala hasn't even really played yet. So there's Iggy there's Otto Porter, there's Gary Payton II. I don't know. There's a lot of factors. Not to say I feel like the Heat the Celtics also have a really fucking good bench. Like that. Let's not understate that either. Mm-hmm. Their bench is also kind of stacked. I think the biggest advantage the Warriors have against the Celtics, to be honest, is that I just think like fucking Wiggins is gonna fucking march down with Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum the whole fucking way every possession. Gonna tire the fuck out of everybody involved. And I think Kevon Looney's rebounding, dude. It's gonna be a battle of the centers. It's gonna be Looney versus what the fuck is his name? Motherfucker.
Robert Williams?
Yeah, Williams. It's gonna be Looney versus Williams, and whoever gets the most boards per game is probably just gonna fucking win.
So here's where I'm at with the Warriors. They have obviously the better scoring between the two teams. Although what's interesting is the Celtics get to the line more often. They're better as far as percentages go than the Warriors. Although the Warriors move the ball so much better than than the Celtics. The Celtics kind of get into an ISO ball situation, and that it's kind of a double-edged sword because they're really good at it when it's working, but when it's not working, it just completely stifles the offense. They can't get anything going. We kind of saw that in the last few minutes of Game 7 of the Heat series. They went on an 11-0 run, and a lot of that was because the Celtics were playing ISO ball, kicking out to Marcus Smart, and Marcus Smart could hit a three. Missed 2 threes, and then a layup within the span of 2 minutes. Now, if we're talking about the Celtics' weaknesses, obviously we're going to have some injury issues with Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. When Marcus Smart is not on the court, it's not conducive for their defense. I mean, we saw the Heat absolutely take advantage of them early in that series because Marcus Smart was injured. He came back and then ended up playing some better defense because of it. Another thing that's going to be a glaring weakness for the Celtics is the inexperience of the postseason. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, they all have quite a bit of postseason experience. The other guys are what I'm more worried about. So Robert Williams, Mark Smart has experience, but it's nothing like what the Warriors have, and that chemistry is not nearly as good as what the Warriors have. We're talking about assists. Last series, the Warriors were averaging 29 assists in the game. I mean, the way that they can move the ball, that can cripple the Celtics defense. The one thing I do have to say about the Celtics defense, though, is they are switch heavy, which is not something that's the Warriors have seen so far in the playoffs. They've seen teams in the bottom half of the league in terms of percentage of possessions where there's a switch. Celtics were in the regular season, they finished number 2. The reason that I'm bringing that up is obviously there's no KD. There's not a player to.
KD's
really
a mismatch nightmare, yeah.
Right, he's a mismatch nightmare. No more ISO ball. Obviously, with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, it's a lot more ball movement, a lot more off-ball screens, off-ball movement, and that's how they're going to get their points. And with the switching, that could be a problem for the Warriors. But to be honest, though, it'll be hard for the Celtics to get past all the scoring depth and ball movement, their depth, finals experience. I really want the Celtics to win. That's my team. So it's hard to say, but Warriors in 6 is probably what I think is going to happen. Game 6, Clay's going to come out and trash.
Warriors in 6?
Warriors in 6.
Okay, I think the Warriors and the Celtics are going to both have that stinker game. But I give Warriors in 5.
Warriors in 5. So here's the reason why I'm saying Warriors in 6. So I think the first game is not even going to be close. I think the Warriors are going to just destroy Boston at home. Game 2, though, I think this goes back to the stat I was talking about earlier. They have not lost consecutive games in the playoffs. I think they'll come back and actually win at Golden State in Game 2. And then I think it's going to go 1-1 at Boston, and then they're going to finish them off in 6 games. So I don't see them winning more than 2.
What do you think, Garrett? What's your predictions here? Warriors in 4, Celtics in 7?
I mean, I guess after everything considered, I think I'm still going to stick to Warriors probably in 6. I'm hoping we can get both at home, steal one in Boston and then go from there. But I feel like either way, I think the Celtics will be pretty quick to adjust. Because who's the new head coach on
Udoka?
Yeah,
he's a good well. So,
yeah, and yeah, if the Celtics have a chance to beat the Warriors, I think it's going to be 2 reasons. First, it's going to be the ISO ball is going to be working for them, and it's not going to stagnate their offense. Second reason is going to be the switchability on defense. If they can get Steph and Klay into some situations where they have to play a little ISO, if they're having Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and even Jason Tatum to a degree guarding them one-on-one instead of them just destroying the Celtics on off-ball movement, off-ball screens. That's how the Celtics are going to win if they get them into ISO situations. But I don't think there's going to be enough of that for them to beat the Warriors in the series.
I feel like the Warriors aren't going to be able to like really do much about Tatum, kind of like they weren't like going to do a lot about Luka Doncic. But I think the Warriors really need to fucking watch out for Jaylen Brown, because if he pops off, and dude, he looks. Honestly, there are times where I think Jaylen Brown is better than Tatum. There's just some moments where he just fucking has like ISO. He hits a step back. He hits that fucking head nod into drive. Like, that dude's nasty. And he was doing that against the Heat, which are like a very good defensive team. Not to say the Warriors aren't. They are. But like Jaylen Brown, I feel like he's kind of got that KD in him where like sometimes he's just like, he's fucking unguardable. And if he gets hot, it's gonna be messy.
If he gets going, and if Robert Williams and Al Horford really crash the board and give Kevon Looney and Draymond Green some issues, it could be a better series than 4-2. But Draymond Green's just he has an effect on the game that is not just scoring, isn't just rebounding. I mean, he could score, rebound, play defense, he can pass the ball. And not to mention his mental impact on the game. He is a spark plug for the Warriors, and he always has been. So I don't know if the mismatch down low for the Celtics is going to be enough for him.
And don't forget the Draymond screen.
I'll say, hey,
absolutely.
And his ability.
Wait, what'd you say?
And his nut kicking ability. So.
It's so stupid.
That's good. I like that.
All right. Any like final thoughts before we wrap it up, boyos?
Payne Pritchard for 40.
I like that.
It.
I like that. I think what's my hot take? I think Jaylen Brown's gonna get a 40 piece, like actually.
Yeah,
I think he might even get a 40 piece and they still lose. That's why like the Warriors are the scoring on the Warriors is fucking nuts.
It is, and they can come at you from really any direction, transition, 3-point, mid-range, dunks. I mean, they'll get you just any which way. Their problem's going to be turnovers. I just don't think it's going to be quite enough to make them lose the series. Yeah. But if we're being honest on hot takes, I'm going to go the other way. I'd say Jason Tatum with a 40 piece, but they would win that game. I
think if Jason Tatum gets a 40 piece, they win. But if Brown gets one, they might not, which is crazy. But I don't know. I'm going out on a limb here. All right, boys. Do you have anything you guys want to plug? Thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully this will not be the last we see of Colorado Connor and Chevapi.
All right.
And you guys want to plug anything? You have an Insta you want to plug? Spotify? I don't know. Where they find you on SoundCloud, Rap God Connor?
I'm not. No. I don't use social media all that much, actually.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Well, no plugs. I owe this to one person in chat. Here we go. Load up the cringe. The wilderness must be explored. Caw, caw, rawr. Anyway, with that, I would like to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. On the count of 3, Connor and Garrett, would you mind waving goodbye to the camera? 3, 2, 1. Bye.